Well, hello everyone, and welcome in to the Six Screens. Here it is Sunday night, May 24th, 2024. And of course, this is a big night for the Jehovah's Witnesses. We're in Massachusetts. We were going to show up at the Kingdom Hall, but it didn't look like they were going to have the meeting there. Anyways, what we do have here is a convention center in Andover, Massachusetts, where the witnesses are meeting. Luke, why don't you scroll around and show them the double tree? Don't even use the. Okay, just scroll around and see. There's the double tree convention center. The witnesses are starting to come in now. We do have a person inside the convention center that will be able to see what's going on. Let's add her to the stage right now. Hello, Julie. Okay, yeah, she's inside the convention. She's gonna get some pictures of the witnesses. So we'll wait till she gets her camera in order there. Just a little bit fuzzy, but we'll bring her back in just a few minutes. But we do have her inside the convention center. We'll bring her back in just a few minutes. She's inside, so we'll get an idea. Luke, scroll around, show the people the cars coming in. These are the witnesses coming in to the convention center right now. Yeah, they got a number of congregations. Just leave it right steady there, Luke, on the road system there as the witnesses come in. And then we'll give you an idea, too, of what's going on here with our signs. We'll give you an idea what it looks like. We'll walk around with Luke's our cameraman. We do have a woman inside. A woman is inside the convention center, so hopefully we'll get some really good footage of the witnesses and see what they're wearing, whether they're wearing slacks, whether they're wearing no ties. It looks like, from what I can see from the cars coming in here tonight, that most of the men have ties on. I haven't seen any beards yet, so we are on beard and slack watch. So you stay with us tonight. We're going to have a really good time in here tonight. We're going to broadcast as much as we possibly can. It's a little chilly out here in Massachusetts. It's down around probably 35 degrees. It's going to drop down and be a lot colder. This is the roadway coming in. These are Jehovah's Witnesses coming into the convention right now. You can see them coming down this road, and that road leads to the convention center. Now, we have some big signs. We'll show you the signs here in a second on what we are doing. So you stay with us here as I walk around. I'll show it to you. Might not be much volume here on my microphone because I can't take that with me, but I can kind of walk around and give you an idea of what is happening. So give me a second. All right, look, I'll keep this here like this. So anyways, look, you see, you'll show the people the sign. So sun in the background shining, so when the sun goes down, you'll be able to see it better. So just kind of hang in here with us. Yep. Okay, look straight at that camera. Yeah. Try not to pull on the cord here. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, here we are. Stick that in there. All right. So, anyways, we're here at the convention center where the Jehovah's Witnesses are. Luke, let's. I think what we're going to do is change cameras here. That camera's flip-flopping all over the place on us. So, well, if you just hold this. Don't even play with the top of it. Okay, come on down a little bit. All right, so anyways, we're going to get the wheels moving here shortly. We do have a person inside the convention center. I see that she's disconnected here for some reason. Device not connected. I'm not sure why that is happening, but we'll have to see. Hopefully, we wanted to get some really good pictures, so she is taking some footage of it. We'll get a hold of Julie here in a second. Maybe I could call her and talk to her. Let's see if we can't do that right now. Get a hold of Julie and see what she's doing. See if she's got she can tell us what's going on. If the sisters are wearing slacks or the brothers aren't wearing ties. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, there you go. There's some cars going by. They're beeping. They know. And they're reading the signs, folks. I have to tell you. Luke, go ahead and just turn around without pulling too far away. Show those cars. These are all the witnesses coming in. Been disconnected, but I'm recording. All right. Well, okay. She says there's many seats still empty. Of course, they haven't started yet. So let me text Julie and tell her to just step outside and then take a take a look at the people coming in, see what they're wearing. That's what most of you folks are tuning in here for tonight, right? To see what the witnesses are wearing. Are the women wearing slacks? I'm going to tell Julie to step outside and see if we can't get the witnesses. Well, we'll see what happens. We have Norman come in. We have help from Norman and other people that are going to come here and help us tonight for our protest. Maybe some other people will show up. I think we do have Julie back on with us. Let's see what's going on with Julie. Let's add it to the stage. I don't know why the camera is so, it doesn't really show much of anything. Let's see if it shows. Let me text her and tell her to get a better picture. Get a better picture.
Sorry. No, Linda had been looking for.
I'll tell you now. Grab a seat. Come on over.
Next to you over here.
Yeah, well, come right over. Yeah. All right. Well, good friend Norman Leroux is showing up here. I don't know why Julie, we have her inside this convention center, but her pictures are really not coming out that great. I'm not sure why. It doesn't really show much of anything.
I'm going to see.
Okay, there we go. Getting a little bit better. All right, Julie, can you show some of the people coming in? Just slow down a little bit. You're moving too fast. Why watch some of the witnesses coming in? If you can see that, let's do that. All right, there's some of the witnesses coming into the convention center. Yeah, Julie, just slow down a little bit. Show the witnesses coming in. Show them getting out of their car. See what they're wearing.
Teacher. Sandra, Natalie.
If you see someone with slacks, make sure you focus in on that because that's what our audience wants to see. Yeah. So just keep on focusing, Julie. Whatever
She's
you're
on
doing.
her way. I'm okay.
Yeah, but if you get cold, just let in there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
It's really just to see what
Go ahead, Norman.
was there any way to see what this camera's doing? Sharon said it needed to be adjusted.
No, that's she's in. Julie's in.
No, this one right here.
It's not even working.
It's not even working.
I can plug it in, but we have.
Okay.
I have to plug. Do you want to see that one or what?
Well, because Sharon said that I guess. Oh, will you? Okay. Yeah. She said tell Luke to go down. I thought maybe
I can't see what I'm shooting, so I'm just kind of shooting blind.
All right. Well, I don't know what Julie is up to, Luke, but it's just black. It goes on and it goes off.
She knows to record if she's not.
Well, okay. Okay, we're back again. We have Julie back taking pictures. Julie, just stay. Luke, you can put that camera on us and text her. I'll tell you what to tell Julie, okay? Because I'm having a hard time texting. Set that camera up, put it on the tripod, shows Norman and I. All right? Go ahead. See the
Yep.
set that. Set it up. Shows us, yeah. All right. Okay. Come on over here, Norman. That's good. Don't just like it is. Yep, that's good. Yep. All right. Come over here now, Norman. We do have Julie in here now, okay. I'm not sure what's going on there. What does that look like to you, Norman?
looks like that's the hallway. They're going into the hall. It looks like they're streaming in.
Right.
And I'm wondering, are they having one or two memorial meals tonight? Is it just the 7 o'clock one? Or are they having two memorial meals? Because that room could probably hold a lot of people. And so they would probably only have to do one meal.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering myself, Norman, how many it will fit. Now, I did check this out for our ex-witness convention. I did check it out, and I don't think there's more than 300 or 400 seats, but it looks, I don't know, maybe it is bigger than I think. And they might just have one. There's a bunch of congregations from nearby here that are meeting at this particular convention center. Well, what the witnesses did this year, Norman, is a lot of the Kingdom Halls wouldn't be filled up. And so it looked very empty to the witnesses. So what the Watchtower did is they have a number of congregations meet at these conventions to make it look like something's happening, you know? Yeah.
So they get a lot of different congregations come all to the same place. It looks nice and full, and there's a delusion there, a trickery.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. We do have a camera woman inside the convention center where hundreds of Jehovah's Witnesses are really meeting. And I'm not sure. Tell Julie, Luke, that nothing is being shown right now. Have her step into an area where the picture can be a little better. In the meantime, I'll come back here to Norman and I. We'll exit solo.
Now, the reason why it's a party over here is because I went to the Wilmington Kingdom Hall. My wife and I had visited our daughter today. We got back about 5:15, and Rick had left him. Had called about that time, so we must have just missed him. So I went down to the Wilmington Kingdom Hall and parked. I turned the corner, and where Rick usually is, I see signs, everything's all lit up, looked like a big carnival going on. I saw nothing.
Yeah, well, we got down there. We got down there about a little before 5 o'clock, and usually 2 hours earlier the witnesses come in, but they weren't in, and no cars were in the lot. So we didn't think they were going to have the meeting there. We looked on the internet and it said there was a meeting there at 8:30, and that didn't make sense to us. So then we saw that there was a bigger memorial being held over here, at the Doubletree in Andover, Mass. So we came over here hoping to at least, see something. But we cannot go down that road to where the Doubletree is, but we'll have our camera when we come out and take a picture of it shortly when she can come outside. But she's inside the convention center trying to take pictures of the witnesses. So far, I haven't, it seems like everyone's the men are wearing ties. I haven't seen many beards, but we'll have more when I can contact Julie. Luke, what's going on with Julie inside? Did she say?
She's doing her best. Some people from Lowell recognized her and were talking to her, so she had to play it cool with the camera for a second.
Okay, so the camera woman is recognized inside the convention center by a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses she knew, so she had to shut the camera off for the time being. But we're going to put that camera back on, and we are on the Slack and Beard Watch. That's what we're on. It's getting a little chilly out here. Norman, what do you think? What's the temperature? What do you think?
Temperature's probably about 37. I took the temperature when I was coming up over here. It said 37. But the thing I noticed when I went to Wilmington, when I got there and Rick wasn't there, I called my wife and I asked her if Rick had left a message or anything. So while she was looking to see our phone records, I was watching the Kingdom Hall. And one thing I noticed about the Kingdom Hall that was different was on the front with a sign that says Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, underneath that, there were some words written in either Cambodian or Vietnamese or something. There's some sort of Asian language there. And that's new. That's something that I had never seen before. And we had been to the Kingdom Hall many, many years. So there was that new writing on the Kingdom Hall. And I noticed that the people coming in, because there were people going into the Kingdom Hall for, I presume, a memorial meal, because I don't think that they have an evening service at all. But they were all Asian people, either Cambodian or Vietnamese or whatever. And they were all walking in. They were parking in the parking lot. Some of them were coming in the front door. There were a lot of families, but some of them were going in the side door. So maybe they were accustomed to the side door that me and Rick had kind of forced them into over the years. But there were a lot of Asian people walking in, smiling, and they seem to be more in traditional Asian outfits. So there weren't any slacks or beards or things like that. So. But they were...
Well, that's a Cambodian congregation. That congregation in Wilmington, Mass. that I used to go to, that's a Cambodian congregation and an English congregation, also a Spanish congregation. So they had three congregations meeting. But when I got there earlier today, it didn't look like they were meeting there at all. But I'm glad we came here. I think this is going to be a better shot for us because we're at a convention center where the witnesses this is what they're doing lately. A lot of Kingdom Halls are not going to get the amount of people for the memorial that they're hoping. And they want to make it really look big time. And Norm and I later on, while they're in there, we're going to go over some figures. We're going to talk a little bit about the memorial. And even if anyone out there is a Christian and would like to partake along with us tonight, we'll be doing it not in view of the witnesses, but I think we'll do that as well tonight. So if you are a Christian person, we're not going to preach to you tonight at all, but we're going to tell the audience exactly what goes on at this setting of the Memorial of Jehovah's Witnesses. So if you want to partake along with us later on, we'll be doing that. So get your wine and crackers ready. We'll just be very short and brief, but we're going to describe all about what goes on at the memorial service and how the Jehovah's Witnesses, there's been a big mix-up on the date. We're going to explain that later on as well. It seems to be a little early this year. And in Jerusalem, the Passover isn't until in April, I think it's 22nd. So usually the witnesses celebrate it right at the Passover. So we're going to talk about that and explain why the witnesses have it early, at least in the minds of many that have been writing online. They think it's early. Well, we're going to get our camera girl back on, and we're looking forward to that. Julie is inside the convention center. She has been getting some pictures for us from the witnesses coming in. And, well, she'll be able to get more for us as well. It seems like we lost connection, but I think she met some witnesses in there that she knew, and she didn't want to, she didn't want to really make a real problem for them. So I think she shut the camera off, but she should be back with us soon. Luke, have you heard from Julie at all?
No, I'm waiting for her to respond to me.
Okay. So you sent her off a text. Okay.
Yeah, I told her, she asked what to do. I said, just pretend you were curious about the memorial.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. We want to see the people now. I am looking. I did see one car just come by, and I believe he was a Jehovah's Witness. He did have a beard. And he had a T-shirt on. Maybe I don't. Pardon?
You mean to report the traffic with your camera?
Well, we can't really put it on here.
No.
So,
Rick, what time is the memorial supposed to start tonight?
the memorial starts tonight at 7:00, so it's supposed to have already started. Well, actually, a little after 7. It isn't quite sundown yet. In the back of it, you can see the sun set. You're probably seeing cars go by. That's Interstate Route 93, and that goes all the way from the Canadian border all the way down to Boston. So that's Route 93 behind us. So you see some trucks and cars. And we're at this DoubleTree Hotel. It's a really upscale hotel, and it's by Hilton. And that's where the meeting tonight. Yeah.
One of the things that one of the things I was kind of concerned about was where Rick was going to be set up. As I'm traveling from Wilmington over here to Andover, Massachusetts, I was wondering where Rick was going to be set up, because I know that the hotel is right off a pretty busy street, and I didn't know where he would be setting up, if we were going to be set up right out in the middle of traffic at all. And my wife told me that she could see cars in the background, and she could see Route 93 in the background. So I was curious to see where Rick had set up. So when you come off the main road, you got to take another side road all the way down to the DoubleTree Hilton. And when you get to the end of the road, you have to turn to the right, and Rick is right there. We're right at the very end of the road, right before you get to the DoubleTree Inn. So when you drive up, you have no choice but to look at these signs. We've got signs for. We have signs stretched out over Rick's van. Rick has a platform made with 2x4s, and he's got 3 big banners out right there. Over to my left, Rick has a very large, a tall, looks like a 8 or 9 foot step ladder with 3 big signs on it. When you drive up, you can't miss these signs. They're right there. They're right in front of your face. And so the witnesses coming in, they had to have seen these signs. I presume that when the memorial meal is done, we're going to be turning these signs around so that when people come out, you'll be able to see all the signs that Rick has made. Rick has done a tremendous job over the years, making all these signs, putting pictures on them, making sure that they giant red letters on a big white background. You can't miss these signs. Rick is a master at sign making, and he's done a phenomenal job over the years making all of these signs. So when the memorial meal is done, we're probably going to turn everything around so that when people come out, of course it'll be dark by then over here. So when they come out of the DoubleTree, they'll be able to their headlights will be able to illuminate all of Rick's signs. Again, you can't miss these big signs, folks. Rick has done a tremendous job, like he always does. Right now, he's trying to get some lights going, some fluorescent lights, so that he can illuminate the signs a little bit more. And we make quite an impact on them. We really do. I've been with Rick for many, many years. We've seen a lot of the changes that have gone on with the Kingdom Halls. We've seen in the early years, there were people coming in for both services, and they would park all on the streets. They would park in the business right next to the street. I mean, people were just streaming in. There was no place to park. And that was for both services, both the 7 o'clock and the 8:30 service. But as the years went by, we've noticed that attendance was starting to get less and less. We would see less cars being parked in the parking lot over at the commercial business. people were able to park on the street and park in the parking lot. And then as the years went by, there were less and less cars out on the street. They were able to fit all the cars in the parking lot. And that's a huge testimony of what Rick is doing. And it's a huge testimony of that the Watchtower is slowly dying. So people aren't coming like they used to. I think one year they went down to one service. And that was for the Tewksbury Wilmington Kingdom Hall. But you got to figure that's not only the Tewksbury Wilmington Kingdom Hall. A lot of the Kingdom Halls have been closing over the past 10 years. I remember, I'm from Dracut, and I remember that there was a Kingdom Hall in Dracut, big Kingdom Hall, nice, good size, a lot of parking, and as a matter of fact, I went a couple of times when I was first getting into the ministry. We didn't have a New World Translation. So my wife and I, we went to the Kingdom Hall and asked for a New World Translation Bible. If you want to call it a Bible, it's just a translation. And a bad one at that. But we went and we were welcomed in. I'm a photographer and I photographed a wedding there one time, and it was busy in there. They had an apartment downstairs for either some of the witnesses or for maybe one of the elders or so. And that was a pretty active Kingdom Hall. And I remember for years wondering, when is this Kingdom Hall going to die? Probably about 4 years ago, I drove by the Kingdom Hall and I was shocked. The Kingdom Hall, like I said, is a pretty big Kingdom Hall, and it's got a regular pitched roof on it. And it's got what looks like almost like a bell tower to it. And I was shocked. I turned the corner and I looked, and on top of that bell tower, there was a big cross. Couldn't believe it. Almost fell off my motorcycle. There was a big cross right on top of that Kingdom Hall. And I looked down, and with a sign used to say, Kingdom Hall, home of Jehovah's Witnesses, there was a sign that said St. Stephen's Episcopal Church. I'm sorry, Anglican Church. It's an Anglican church. And I was shocked that this Kingdom Hall finally fell after all these years. And atop that old Kingdom Hall, there stood a big cross on top. I was just blown away. It was just a wonderful sight to see. So the Dracut Kingdom Hall is gone. Lowell has had a Kingdom Hall, and it was a small one. Not a lot of places to park, so a lot of people, I'm sure, had to park in the street. And that one was gone. They had moved that Kingdom Hall over to the Highlands, to another location in like a suburban area. It was the Kingdom Hall was like tucked between two houses. It probably was an old house that they had converted. The parking lot was very small, and they couldn't fit a lot of people in there. Well, you figure that people at Dracut had to go somewhere, and if they went to the Lower Kingdom Hall, it was going to be very, very crowded. Well, not only that, there's a Kingdom Hall in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, right off of right around the Route 3 Drumhill area. And that one closed as well. That one's not too far from the Lowell Kingdom Hall, so you figure all of the Chelmsford Kingdom Hall had to go to the Lowell Kingdom Hall, again, making it very, very crowded. To add an insult to injury, there was also a Kingdom Hall in Billerica, Massachusetts. And that had been going for quite a number of years, and that one fell too. Now, I had been inside the Dracut Kingdom Hall, I'd been inside the Chelmsford Kingdom Hall, but I never had been inside the Billerica one. Now, the Billerica one looked kind of small from the outside, but they had a good parking area. But they closed down. So here we have 3 Kingdom Halls, all in the area, and they all closed down. And Lowell had a very small Kingdom Hall. It's not that they closed all these congregations down and built one great big one for all these different congregations to settle into. Lowell is very small, and the parking lot is very small. So where are all these witnesses going? They can't all fit in the same building, and I'm sure they have multiple services, but how many services can you have? And it's funny because I was able to talk to a witness about that. Rick, I think it's called compressing, right? Oh, Rick is busy. Anyway, so they were compressing a lot of kingdom halls into one. And this one woman, she was a witness. She had a good explanation, a good organization sanctioned explanation. She said, "Well, we're just making better use of the spaces that we have." Again, that's a Watchtower excuse, because the population of Jehovah's Witnesses is going down. I haven't seen a magazine lately that to give us the numbers that the society gives, and I'm sure the numbers are false. I'm sure they jack the numbers up. But from what we see on the ground, the kingdom halls are closing. There's not a lot of witnesses anymore. The conventions are sparse. I was one of the ones who went inside one of the conventions. I had gone to one of the conventions a couple of years ago without Rick, just on my own, because I wanted to see what a convention looked like. And there was quite a few people there. It was a big arena where they have a lot of hockey games and basketball games and things. So I presume that arena could probably hold maybe 6,000 or 7,000 people. And there were seats also on the floor too, and there was quite a few people there. They had a baptism, and I counted probably about I think at the time there was like 10 or 11 people being baptized. Now, with all those congregations and all those people, only 11 people being baptized, that didn't seem right either. Because if you're not even keeping your own kids, I mean, I presume a lot of these people were families and having kids, and if their kids weren't even being baptized as Jehovah's Witnesses, never mind the people that they've brought in from the door-to-door ministries, there weren't a lot. This past summer, Rick had called me and he said they're going to have the convention still at the Sangha Center again, which was good because I could compare what I had seen before. Actually, I had brought my iPad inside and taken some videos and taken a bunch of pictures and everything, so I could compare it, the convention I had gone to a few years ago to the one that I was seeing just then. So the one that this past summer, Rick said, "Hey, they're going to have a convention. We'd like to know if you can go inside and take some video or live video or take some pictures and everything." And I said, "Sure." I had been there before. So I got all dressed up and looking really nice, really sharp. And I had my phone with me. And Rick was set up over by the street where the witnesses were going in and out, because you can't set up on the premises because they won't allow that. So I parked my van in the parking garage, and I went inside, and there were men along the way. And they said, "Hi, brother, how are you?" And I said, "Hi, brother, how are you?" I made myself look to be a good Jehovah's Witness, and I had no problem. They let me in. You had to go through a metal detector in order to get in, but I had taken off my watch and taken my keys out and throw them in the bucket, and I had gone in, no problem at all. Went up the stairs. Actually, before I get up the stairs, someone said, "Gia, can I help you with something?" And I said, "No, I'm all set." And they let me go. So I went up the stairs and I went into the arena. And now this was on a Saturday. So this is prime time. This is not a Friday night where people are still waiting to get there. Maybe they got caught in traffic, or maybe they couldn't get to work early. This wasn't Sunday afternoon where people were trying to head home a little bit early. This was right on a Saturday. You figure that's where they're going to have the most amount of people. So I went inside and looked around, and I noticed that there were a lot fewer people there. They had blocked off two big sections on one side and two big sections on the other for people not to sit. Where before those sections were full of people. Again, I could take a look at the pictures I had taken from last time, and they're all empty. They're all blocked off. You couldn't go there. Then I looked down at the floor.
It's coming back so soon. She's going to go back down when it's coming.
Oh, no. So then I looked down at the floor, and the last time there was a lot of people on the floor. Now it was very sparse. There were very, very few people on the floor because, again, they had set up a bunch of seats on the floor. Very few people on the floor. As far as baptisms, there was only one baptism. Only one. Now you figure how many people were not having their kids baptized. How many people who they tried to bring in to the society, to the Watchtower, that weren't getting baptized either. They're not making the numbers. They're not keeping their families. They're not making numbers on the door-to-door ministry, which now I guess is optional, right?
Well, that's what it is, Norman. In fact, it is optional. There's no more time slips as we knew it as Jehovah's Witnesses, but they are asked. They do have a little note that's given to them, that a little slip that's given to them. They check off if they spoke to anybody during the month about the witness world. But anyways, I'm Rick Ferrin back with you. We had Norman Leroux. We have a lot of people slowing down and looking at the signs. A bunch of witnesses are doing that. So it's amazing. More and more witnesses. We had one person come by earlier, and she actually, what she did is let's move that out of here. We had one woman come by, and she slowed down. She gave us a thumbs up, and we've been noticing that a lot lately. That people have been at least acknowledging what we're doing out here. There's a lot of PMOs in there tonight. In fact, I'm even willing to go out on the limb and say that in the organization itself, there's going to be half of the people coming to the Kingdom Hall and to this memorial tonight, more than likely are PMO people. They're just going through the motion in a perfunctory way, going to the Kingdom Hall so that, they at least look like they're still witnesses so their families won't disconnect from them. But anyways, we're here in Andover, Massachusetts. It's about 30 degrees out. It's getting kind of cool. I had to put my coat on. We do have a little generator here. If I have to, I'll put some heat on. But we do have a few people here with us tonight. We just heard from Norman Leroux, and he has been involved with the 6 Screens for many years. In fact, Norman was with us when we first protested. That was going back in 2007. Did you know that, Norman?
Has it been that long?
2007, I believe it was. I know we've been doing it for 16 years. So I believe it was 2007. It'll be 16 years ago. So tell us about that first protest, Norman.
I didn't know what to expect.
Come nice and close. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. Rick said we're going to have a protest, and I had never been by this Kingdom Hall. I didn't know what the setup was going to be, and I got to admit, Rick, I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was very nervous about coming. But my daughter was with us, and she brought a friend of hers. Now, my daughter was probably, back in 2007? Oh, that's how old would she be? She's probably about 12 years old, 12, 13 years old. And that this young girl and her friend, they were excited to be there. We got there, and we started holding signs, and I settled right down. All of my nervousness was all gone. We held our signs. We watched people going in and out, and there was a sense of satisfaction there. It was actually pleasant, and I enjoyed being with Rick. I love to see Rick's enthusiasm. His enthusiasm never wanes. He's always there. He's always up. He's always ready for the protest. He's always ready for his radio program, which is how many years now?
It's going to be 19 years. It's going 20.
Yeah, never missed a weekend. I never missed a Saturday with Rick. His enthusiasm is endless.
Well, thank you, Norman. Your commission check will be in the mail. But anyways, we have a girl come back from the convention center. They caught her recording in there. So she did get a lot of recordings. It wasn't live, but we'll be able to put that up on YouTube probably as early as tonight or tomorrow on my YouTube channel. But we're going to go back in live in a while. They're settled in there now, so there's not too much we can do inside the auditorium. But we're going to send her back. and maybe we'll send Norman back. Maybe you can drive down there with your camera and just park outside when they're coming out.
If you like, sure.
Yeah, so I think we'll probably send Norman back too, and he can get some live footage. He can do it right from his car. So we'll send Julie back. So when the witnesses are coming out, we'll get to see them up front and close. So don't go anywhere. You're on the 6 screens telling that work. And we've been out here now for, well, what time is it now, Norman?
Right now it's 7:25.
All right, so we've been out here since 6:25, about 6:30, and we're gonna continue on with our broadcast tonight. I don't know if they've got 2 meetings here tonight. I don't think so.
There's a French Creole going on.
Well, come on over here, Julie, so I can hear you. So Julie is our inside camera woman. She won't come. She won't come on film here with us. But Julie, why don't you? I won't put you on camera, but why don't you just say what was going on inside the kingdom, all that?
Well, first off, hi everybody.
Come nice and close. Nice and close.
There's a meeting going on in French Creole, and then in the room next door, there's an English meeting. Only about 2/3 of the seats are full, and compared to the amount of chairs they have, that's a lot of empty seats. They have one little table set up with a nice bouquet of flowers and then the cup of wine and the bread. But they kicked me out because they said that I was recording. And I said, I didn't know it was recording. I'm sorry. Oh, well, we can't have anything like that in here. And they asked me to leave. But there's a lot of people with their kids. The kids are going crazy. And the brother speaking, he's from the Bethel congregation, the one speaking at the English meeting.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's from the Bethel
Well,
congregation.
let me ask you this.
I have some footage of that.
All right.
So.
Well, let me ask you this. Could maybe I'm going to ask Julie here if she could just talk for a couple more minutes here. Julie, did you see anyone wearing any slacks? Any women wearing slacks?
There were actually a couple women that were wearing not only slacks, sweatpants. There was a woman wearing sweatpants, like a sweater that had buttons on it, and she had a knit hat on. And then there was actually a clean-faced man who was talking to a younger man who had facial hair. And I guess he was uncomfortable with that situation. But I thought that it was okay for them to have facial hair now.
Well,
so he kind of went towards the back of the room a little bit and
let me ask you, Julia.
weird.
In other words, did you see many men with beards?
Not many, no. Surprisingly, I would think it would be much more of a thing now that it's okay, but they all seemed to be, most of them were in their dresses, and the men in suits. I've noticed they didn't have, all of them weren't wearing ties. A lot of them were not wearing ties. But no, there was one woman wearing, like I said, she had sweatpants, and then another 2 or 3 that had like the dress slacks.
Yeah.
And with like a nice blouse, and but it seemed to be much more relaxed than meetings I've been to before.
Now, Julie, may I ask you a question?
Of course.
You said that there were 2.
In fact, we'll bring Julie over here and we'll put her in here. And
I'm not camera ready by any means.
All right. Okay. Well, you have to. In fact, we didn't dress Julie up like a witness. We didn't put any makeup on her or anything. We didn't want her to. We just wanted her to be like a traveler here at the Hilton. So go ahead, Norman.
Well, now
sit here now.
Well, now that they're more relaxed, maybe you fit in quite well with them now, right?
I wouldn't hope so, me personally. But
Yeah, but you're not in sweatpants, so you're already out doing something, aren't you?
yeah, and surprisingly, right when I went in, 2 sisters approached me, asked, they introduced themselves. Who are you here with? Let me find you a seat. You know, very accommodating.
Mhm.
A bunch of people were coming up and saying hello and just asking questions and just real curious. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, somebody new. But, you know, It kind of was like that whole love bombing thing I went through at my first couple meetings at the regular Kingdom Hall.
Right, right.
It's almost like I was going through that all over again.
Did it send chills down your spine?
Yeah, it did. It made my stomach flip a little bit, but
Now, you mentioned that there were 2 meetings going on, the English one and the Creole one.
correct.
They're both going on at the same time?
Yes.
Did you have a chance to go into both meetings?
I got pictures and video of the Creole one, but I didn't go in because they have brothers at the door. There's like 3 doors to each room.
Yep.
And they have brothers standing at the doorway, the entrance, to either get them seated or to welcome them or make sure no one they don't want in there getting in. Okay. They have brothers at the door. I don't know if it was to stop people they didn't want getting in to come in, or if they could welcome them and get them seated.
No, were you able to look inside the room?
Yes.
And when you looked inside the room, about how many people were they set up for, and how many people do you think were actually there?
They were set up for a couple hundred people, and there's less than 100.
So it was about half full.
Yeah, it was about half full. There's less than 100, and there were so many open seats, more empty than full.
Now, were the people kind of milling around and they just hadn't taken their seat yet?
Oh no, this was after, like during the song and the opening prayer and everything like that.
So they had already started.
They had already started.
So it's not that they were coming in or milling around or out in the hallway. They were there for
they were already there for the meeting. You know, whoever is going to be there is already there.
Yeah. Now that I presume the English meeting had already started.
Yes, it started right at 7 o'clock.
And how many people were they set up for in your guesstimation? And how many people were actually there? Do you know?
A couple hundred. They were set up for. There were over 100 chairs, definitely. They were set up for a couple hundred in each room.
Okay.
And I would say when I first walked in, it seemed like it was a lot more because everyone was congregated around.
Yep.
But when I saw the ratio of empty seats to full,
Mm-hmm.
it was probably only about 75 to 90 people there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Now, as far as the population is concerned,
And they're from that's not only one Kingdom Hall. That's from different Kingdom Halls
right.
that are
Right.
all meeting at this one centralized spot.
Now, did you find, like, what is the average age? Were there a lot of older people, younger people, a lot of kids?
They were older.
Okay.
Over 60 and over that's the majority of the people that were there. People that have probably been there their entire lives.
Right.
I didn't really see, I'm 35. I didn't really see many people my age.
Yeah.
Children, quite a few. And they were reckless. Like children are.
Right. Right.
But
So there were a few families there.
There were a few, not many, not as many as I would think, because growing up in the Catholic religion, it was nothing but families.
Right.
It just seems like there were just many more single people there. Well, not like single, not in a relationship,
Right,
just
right.
there by themselves, or just like 2 or 3 people together.
Okay.
But mostly, I didn't see many middle-aged except for the people at the door.
Any teenagers or?
No, surprisingly, no teenagers.
Wow.
Just do
Wow.
one thing here with the computer here for a second and just bring this
There you go.
out. In fact, I'm going to talk to Julie for a second too,
Yeah,
Norman.
I'm sorry.
I got some thoughts. I'm
I
going to.
earned to be hogging
Well,
Julie.
that's all right.
I'm here to help.
Good.
Let's get this. I'm going to get right in.
Okay, let me get out of your way here.
All right. We'll be right back on with you folks. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're going to bring this on full screen. All right. So anyways, we're right here with Julie. You know, Julie was at one time, she was associated with the Witnesses, right, Julie?
I was.
And I do recall, you come right close to that mic because we want to make sure people can hear you because the highway back of us. But anyways, what I wanted to bring out is Julie had a pretty bad experience at the Kingdom Hall. And we're going to bring some experiences up tonight on how bad it was for many people. Now, Julie, you went to the Kingdom Hall. You never was a baptized witness. They were trying to make you one. But could you just give us a little rundown? I know you told your story before, but a lot of people might not have heard it. But let the people know what happened when you first attended the Kingdom Hall.
It
Going
was
right in now.
it was my very first meeting at the Kingdom Hall, and I had spent hours because I've always been concerned about other people's opinion of me or how they look at me, and I just wanted for everyone to approve. So I put on the only dress that I had, and with a shawl over my shoulders and leggings under that dress, because it had a fairly high slit up the side. And I was told by two sisters in the restroom that what I was wearing was inappropriate and it was distracting to the brothers. And this was my very first meeting. And from that point on, I was like, okay, I don't want to be here. Nothing I do is ever going to be good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is all I had. At least I'm here trying. They could have recognized that. But instead, they gave me a reason not to. It hurt.
Well, no, it did hurt. I'm sorry. I just wanted to. Did you want to move that
Picture of the
camera? No?
camera's good.
The microphone bar is right in your face.
Oh, it is. All right.
I'm talking to Sharon right now, and she said the microphone's right in your face.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay.
Just a little
All
bit,
right.
we can see you better.
All right. Oh, there we go. It's just
Yeah, we can bring
we want to make sure they really can hear us here. That's the problem. We got the highway.
Highway is right
The highway's behind us. Ask Sharon if she can hear us pretty good. Okay. All right. Fine. All right. So, anyways, Julie, you went to the meeting for the first time. You didn't know what to expect, but they chastised you. So the women, a couple of sisters, got you in the ladies' room. And what did they say to you when they're again?
They said that the clothing I was wearing was inappropriate and it could be potentially distracting to other brothers that were there. And they said that the boots I had on made me look like a prostitute because they had a little bit of a heel and they went up to like my mid calf. And I was only 26 years old at this time.
Well,
So
it
I was
seems.
still coming into my own and trying to make everyone else happy. And I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Well, it's supposed to be a Christian organization. You would think that a person attending, you think that would ever happen in a real church? No way would that ever
they would
happen.
have welcomed anybody.
Anybody.
They were in scrubby clothes, sweatpants, sweatshirts, stink like they're going in what they have. If that's not acceptable to them, offer, say, do you need clothes or something?
Right. That's what you would.
Don't say you can't come here because you're not dressed the way we like.
Well, that's what a Christian organization would do. Julia, it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable the way the Jehovah's Witnesses act. Now, the dress codes have been changed. You were telling us a little bit about it. We're going to get more people as they're coming out tonight. We're going to send you back to the parking lot.
I'm gonna go back
along
over
with Norman. We're going to send him over and try to get some real close-up pictures of the people coming out of the arena tonight. So that's going to come up here very, very shortly. Well, thank you, Julie.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, thank you for being part of our Six Screens protest team. Always good. Well, we're getting ready to send our reporters back into the arena as they're coming out. Hey, you know what I noticed though tonight, friends? A lot of people as they're driving into the DoubleTree Hotel here, they are seeing us and they're slowing down. A lot of them are slowing down. They're reading the signs. You guys have been seeing the signs all night long. So we're so glad to be here. It's not as cold as I thought. At least the wind isn't blowing. They were saying today in the weather today that the wind was going to be blowing in big time tonight, but it's not blowing. And that is the biggest problem we have when we protest is the wind because it raises havoc with the banners. But anyways, my name's Rick Ferrin. I'm with the Six Screens Telenetwork, and we're doing this live. We've been doing it now. In fact, we've been going down to the Kingdom Hall, Norman, and a bunch of the protest people we have on our Six Screens protest team. We've been going down to Kingdom Hall for many, many years. This is the 16th year that we have been protesting. And I find it very fascinating to be able to protest and stand on the front lines of truth as it is. We put our boots on the ground and we try to let people know what's going on behind the Watchtower. Now, I know a lot of people, you're not into protesting. I know a lot of people say, well, Rick, it doesn't really do any good. It just feeds into the persecution complex. And obviously that is not the case. Are they leaving now, Julie? Not yet. Okay, because it's only about quarter of 8. So we're going to send you guys. You want to head back in? It's going to take me a couple minutes. So you got the link. All right, we'll stay warm, and then Norman's going to join you down there. I think he's going to. Yeah, if you can do live, all the better. Yeah, take pictures. If you can do live, really, even all the better. All of it. Hey. All right. So, anyways, we're going to send our reporters back into the Kingdom Hall. So, welcome in here tonight, friends. Welcome in. We're exposing the Watchtower here at the Memorial up in Massachusetts. This has been a tradition for us ever since 2007. And in our first one was 16 years ago, as we said earlier. We missed 3 of them, 1 because of bad weather, and 2 of them because of COVID. They didn't have a meeting at the Kingdom Hall. So I just wanted to report here tonight that as of 2023, just to bring you guys up to speed a little bit and give you an idea of what takes place here at the Memorial, as of 2023, the group reported approximately that is the Jehovah's Witness organization, claims they have 8 million plus witnesses, 8.6 million members. And of course, they're involved, as they always say, in evangelism. They aggressively go door to door. They have the carts they wheel out. Now, last year for 2023, the numbers I have here in front of me, at the Memorial, they had 20.5 million. 20.5 million attending the memorial of Christ's death. That was last year. They're hoping to get those numbers up. Well, they will or not this year or not, I'm not sure. Now, of those, more than 20, actually there was 22,300 who partook of the emblems last year. I believe it's going to go up higher this year, where with all of the dress code changes and not reporting time anymore. Well, what it's actually done here, they're leaving it up to the Christians, to the Jehovah's Witness conscience. So they're saying, make it your Christian conscience on what you have to do. So what I'm finding is, I think a lot of people's conscience are going to say, hey, when the wine comes by, take it. So I think you're going to see a lot more people partaking tonight. What do you think, Norman?
Well, from what Julie said, there's a lot of older people there. And I'm wondering if they say to themselves, what do I have to lose? Right? I'm older. They're going to kick me out. And I'm wondering if one of the reasons why they're kind of relaxing a little bit on their shunning policy, as we were talking about, can they afford to lose members? Would they rather discipline people but keep them on? Or would they rather kick them out? And from what Julie said about the how many people were inside and how many people are going to the conventions and the Kingdom Halls, looks like they don't have a lot of people to spare. So I'm wondering if they're, again, trying to keep the people that they have and discipline them as opposed to kick them out.
Well, that's a possibility. That really is a possibility, Norman. And I have to tell you that this is, as you know, the biggest night of the year for the Jehovah's Witnesses. They make a big deal out of this. But how sad it is, and in the Christian world, if you are a Christian, which Norman and I are, and we're not ashamed to tell you that. Now I know there's 2 camps in the ex-witness world. There's the Christian camp and the not Christian camp. But we're not going to preach you tonight. But I'm glad you're my friends, and I have a hope, and I certainly look forward to that. And when I left the Jehovah's Witness organization, I didn't leave God behind. And many witnesses leaving today don't leave him behind as well. But some have been so spiritually abused, Norman, that they do. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make with this whole memorial, this is supposed to be the memorial of Christ's death. Nice and 14. I'm going to go a little bit later. I'm going to tell you why the witnesses seem to be celebrating it earlier this year. But I wanted to clarify something. In the Christian world, if you're a real Christian, you would partake. You would partake of the emblems. When the wine was given to you or passed by, you would take it. When the bread was given to you and passed by, you would take it. But the witnesses, they tell the witnesses, really, don't take it. You're not worthy enough. So there's very few people, as I give you the figures here. Last year, there was 22,300 people worldwide out of 8.6 million witnesses that actually did partake. So they passed the wine by. It's rejecting Jesus. And, we've talked about this. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but it's true. They're rejecting Jesus when they pass that wine. They're saying, in essence, Jesus, I don't want anything to do with you. Now, I know tonight, I got a good feeling there's going to be a lot of witnesses that are giving up on the organization, and they still love God. It's just they don't love how the organization is treating them. They don't like the way that scriptures are being misleading them as well. So I believe that in view of that, there will be many more partaking tonight. Now, Norman, do you know of any other group that just passes the wine by and doesn't take it?
No. This is, like Rick said, it's a slap in the face. It's almost like saying we've got two classes of people. We've got the people who matter and the people who don't. And the average witness, you're not allowed to partake of this. Only certain people can do it, but you can't. And I think that's a slap in the face, because they all proclaim to be Christians, but yet they're not able to do what Christ commanded in Scripture. I think if they relax that rule tomorrow, they would all partake, but they won't. They're stuck in the past. But I think that things are changing. As you know, things are changing. They might relax that rule in the next, next year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, whatever. We don't know what rules are going to be changing next. And, Rick, when you were a witness, did you ever think that you would see women wearing pants and men wearing mustaches and beards at the Kingdom Hall?
I never thought that. I never really realized it. But you know what it's going to do, Norman? The Jehovah's Witnesses have been readily identifiable in your neighborhood because of the way they dress. The women dress nice. The men dress good. They didn't have beards. They were clean shaven. It was kind of like a uniform. You could tell they were Jehovah's Witnesses. If you've seen people coming down the street, those are Jehovah's Witnesses, because they all had this identity. They look good. They look clean cut. They look like, wow, they're good people. And that was an image that the Watchtower projected for 100 years. And now all of a sudden, in the year 2024, they go and change this dress code. Now, we have a sign up here. You guys seen it. And it has let me put it this way to you. There's a picture of a man on one side, and he has a beard. And on the other side of the sign is a number of women with slacks on. So it's actually Norway. Norway is giving the Watchtower new light. Now, they have to, I know now you guys listen closely to what I'm saying, because I think you guys all know what I'm saying. The country of Norway is ticked off at the Jehovah's Witnesses, as well as a number of other countries: Denmark, Sweden, Japan, United Kingdom. There's more, and they're ticked off at the Watchtower. And the reason why they're ticked off is a group of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses went to the Norwegian government a couple of years ago. And they told the Norwegian government what goes on behind the curtains of the Watchtower, and how when they leave the organization, they're ostracized, how they're actually shunned. And even young ones who went to the government of Norway and told them the government of Norway was shocked that a religious organization that the Norway government gives money to. Did you know that the Watchtower organization actually gets money from Norway? They get money from all of the European countries, and they get, the more people they have in the organization, the more money they make. Watchtower was making $1.5 million a year on the government was giving to the Watchtower, because Watchtower was going to be able to help people. That's why in Europe, They give money to churches because they feel the churches genuinely will help people. Well, we know the Watchtower doesn't help people at all. As a matter of fact, now Norway is realizing, as well as a number of other countries, that the Watchtower doesn't help people, they hurt people. And this ostracizing and shunning got the attention of Norway. So now what is happening is Norway said, we're not going to pay Watchtower the money. You're not going to get that $1 million+. So Watchtower had a heart attack. So they appealed it, and they just lost recently. So now we realize that Watchtower thinks that, wow, this is going to spread throughout Europe. They could lose millions of dollars. So now we have on the governing body update on jw.org last month, we have Sanderson. We have Mark Sanderson, who is a Jehovah's Witness governing body member. He comes on saying now it's okay to have beards. Okay, it's okay now for women to wear slacks. Okay, now it's all right to even say hello, have a greeting at the Kingdom Hall to someone that's been disfellowshipped. And even tonight here at this convention center, I would imagine there's a number of people who are disfellowshipped who have been asked to come tonight because they can now, the witnesses can now talk to a disfellowshipped one in the confines of a Kingdom Hall setting. So this is amazing. So they're changing their stance. Norway is changing their stance on the witnesses. No money for the witnesses. The rest of Europe, I think, is going to change their stance. So now the Watchtower is going to soft pedal. Oh, no, we don't really do that. We talk to people. So, this is going to really raise an uproar in the witness world, Norman.
Yeah, it's funny. I guess we've known all along, but this is confirmation that if you want to get new light, give Watchtower a good swift kick in the wallet, and they'll move. They'll give you some new light. So if they're losing money, then they're going to have some new light to keep themselves going.
That's just the only. In fact, I'll tell you what, Norman. We talked about it many times on the Six Screens programming on Saturday night, and we realized that Watchtower was trying to build this $500 million. Now that's at the top end. It may come in a little lower than that, but I've heard estimates of $300 million to $500 million for this gigantic audio video studio that they're trying to build up in Ramapo, New York. It's about 60, 70 miles from New York City, from where they used to be. So anyways, they're trying to become this tele-evangelistic organization. And they realize that video and audio is the way to go. They see the evangelist on TV, the Daystar Network, the Trinity Network. They see these evangelists raking in a lot of money. And they're getting a lot of people that will listen to their program. So Watchtower figures they can do the same thing. So they're really turning the organization into a tele-evangelistic site. That's what they want to do. And many, many people can see this. They can see right through it, especially the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. But many witnesses that are still in, they call them PMEs, physically in, mentally in, people that are loyal to the Watchtower. They see it changing big time. And what is it changing toward? It's becoming like mainstream. But they have to dissect this very carefully. They just can't make one big diametrical change here. They're going to do it in pieces so that it really doesn't rock the boat. So that's what they're doing, and they're moving, at least in my estimation, more toward mainstream Christianity, even though they're not Christian. What do you think, Norman?
Well, they've had so many changes over the years, so much new light. Who the faithful and discreet slave is, and who the other sheep are, and all these different changes they've had over the years. It's only the really loyal witnesses that will keep going with all these different changes, who will just keep on drinking the Kool-Aid, the Watchtower Kool-Aid. But I think these younger people are seeing these differences and these changes, and they get confused. And I think that is one of the things that kind of drives them out, is that they can't take these changes. They say it contradicts the teachings we had just last year or the year before. It's just the older ones that are just so brainwashed with Watchtower teaching, or maybe have so much to lose, that stay and they just swallow this new light with whatever they are given. Um, but the thing is, these older witnesses are older. And once this class of older witnesses, maybe the next, 10 or 15 years, when these older witnesses are gone, what's going to be left? And I think that's one of the things that Rick is trying to talk about, is that they're trying to change to a more evangelistic type thing to keep the younger people, but also try to look for new people.
Well, no, good narrative there. Now, look, I think I'm going to get you to drive up to the driveway.
Okay.
I'm going to send you a link. Let's make sure it works first, though.
Okay.
Let me send you a link so that we can get you to get some pictures of some of the witnesses leaving and then coming in. So let's see if we can't do that. Let me invite you. Let me give you the link to the StreamYard. And then we're going to send. We do have Julie in there now. She's getting ready to do some filming as they're coming out and coming in. So let's take a look at that. Let's send this over to Norman. Norman, what I need is your I need your email. You tell me who to send it to, and we'll send it. We're going to send this to Norman. All right, let's send it right now. Gmail right here. And what I'm going to do later on, maybe we can get you folks out there listening in to kind of call in. Maybe you could come in and on our StreamYard, I could send you a link. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll see if you'd like to come in. So we're going to get Norman settled. We're going to send him back in. So we're going to send him a link to StreamYard. So, Norman, who do I send this to?
I am
right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to get my email on this. Let me call Sharon.
Okay. Well,
And
do you have an email setting there?
Yeah, Rick.
Hold on 1 second. You don't have email there. A mail? No. All right. I'll tell you what.
Yes. Do
all right, I'm going to do the link. Let's see what's happening. We're trying to send the Norman link, and we're going to do this to you folks out there listening in a little later on, so we can get you to come in too and be with us. So I'm just going to put link here, Norman,
Rick, I'm too old for technology.
And I'm going to send this to you. So let's do that right now, and I think you might have it. Give it a second or two.
Yep. I'm too old for technology.
That might not be. Is that your email?
Yes, that's the studio email.
All right.
This is my studio email here.
All right, go ahead and just scroll down and see if it.
Actually, this is the top here. So.
All right, nothing yet. Okay, hasn't come in yet, so we'll see. Well, anyways, we get Julie back there. We hope that she can get some good pictures. If not, Norman, I'm going to send you with my camera.
Okay.
Hey, Luke, I'm going to send Norman his. We're having some trouble getting his link to this. But can we link it back up to the video? I'm going to send him down with my camera.
Yeah.
Okay, get it set back up so that we can do that. All right. So anyways, this is a big fundraiser for the Watchtower. This is a big night for the Watchtower to raise money. I'll tell you how the coffers will be filled. Is it all set to go? All right, show them how to use it. And we're going to send Norman's going to get in his car. He's going to go to the convention center right now. We do have Julie down there as well, and hope to get some pictures of the witnesses leaving the convention center. Wow, that's going to be amazing. So we're looking forward to that. And, well, we got another couple hours. We'll still be here tonight. So don't you guys go anywhere. You're going to find that we got a lot of things we still have to cover tonight. We're going to talk about we have a full moon tonight. But the witnesses, many people are saying you guys are celebrating it too early. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So in just a few minutes here, we'll be getting Norman to get in front of the convention center. Sorry, friends, a little nippy out here. Sometimes you freeze up a little bit, but okay. We have Julie is there. There's Luke. Okay, so Norman's going to drive down and he's going to take some pictures, and we're going to see how many beards. We're on Beard and Slack watch tonight. We want to see how many Jehovah's Witnesses are dressed informally, you could say. Julie, earlier, we did see some. She said she saw one woman in sweatpants going into the convention center. So let's see what happens. All right. So we're so glad you're with us. We talked about it last night. We have a good audience tonight. Norman is now heading down to the convention center. We are going to see, you guys all tuned in here tonight, right? Because you wanted to see what the Jehovah's Witnesses look like. Well, that's what we're trying to do. Originally, we were going to be at the Kingdom Hall, But we showed up there tonight. Nobody was there. So we didn't think that we're going to have the meeting. So we started looking online, and we saw that the Jehovah's Witnesses, many of them in this area, and I know areas throughout the United States, are meeting in convention centers. Some of the Kingdom Halls just would not have enough people. It would look terrible to go to the memorial and only have, 50 people in the Kingdom Hall. So what the Watchtower did is they actually rented out a number of good-sized convention centers. This one is over here at the DoubleTree Hotel in Andover, Massachusetts. And they have this probably 6 or 7 congregations that are meeting here from the area. So it gives at least the look of, wow, look at all the people we got at the convention. Look at all the people we have here at the memorial tonight. So, and the Watchtower is trying so hard. They've been sending the witnesses out for the last month, trying to invite people from all over the place to come to the memorial. These numbers got to be good. The governing body is going to be watching these numbers. If these numbers aren't good tonight, the governing body is going to be totally upset. But I don't know if the governing body ever really gives us the real numbers anyways. That's what I'm thinking. So anyways, let's see what we get here. Let's bring a Norman in, set him to the stage, and see what's happening here with Norman. He's driving up to the convention center entrance, and let's see what he sees there. Okay, there he is right there. There's some of the witnesses now coming out, and he's got him. Well, he's right there. He's in his car taking the pictures. So let's see what some of these witnesses look like as they're coming out of the convention center tonight with a new dress code. Have any of them? Well, there we go. I see dresses. I don't know what you guys see, but I see dresses. I don't see any slacks yet. So we'll just keep our eye on it. Norman, you're doing a good job. Just stay right there. Right where you are is good. We'll watch the witnesses coming out. I don't know what Julie is. I do not know what Julie is. But let's see if we can't get a closer look there. Here come some of the witnesses now coming out of the convention center. And then they got to drive right by. We have an excellent spot here. They have to drive out this driveway in order to see us. And I have to say again that a lot of the cars the witnesses have, they're not all junk boxes. A lot of these cars are beautiful cars. I've been seeing some really fine cars. Whoop, we just lost contact, I think, with Norman. I'm not sure what did happen. Darn it, we do lose contact from time to time. I don't know why that went off on us. We'll have to see. Well, we don't know. We don't know what Julie is either. Well, let's take it back out. All right. All right, so we're going to exit that screen, see if Norman can't come back on with us. But anyways, they are recording. What's taking place. I don't know if Julie is recording right now or what, but we did lose contact, Luke, with Norman too. So I don't know why we do. It should not do that, darn it. It should not do that. In fact, what I think I will do, I do have an extra hotspot here. Maybe if I'll send Norman back later. Okay, well, they're probably just recording. What we're going to do, folks, is I'll put up on my YouTube channel. They're recording now. The live stream didn't work where they are, so they are recording, and I will put up some pictures in the video on our 6 screens YouTube video feeds. So I'll do that in the next day or so. So you get to see the recordings that we took here tonight. That's a shame. I know you guys wanted to see what was going on, but don't give up on it. We got another thing we're going to try here in a while. So there's Julie right now. We just saw her. Let's see if we can't get her on. Julie, can you see anything? Can you hear me? Shake your head up and down if you can hear me. Nope. She goes on and off. I'm not sure why that is happening. Okay. Julie, put the camera the other way so that don't have it on you. Put it on the people. Okay, there we go. That's
To leave now, so
all right.
Here at the door.
Stay right where you are, Julie. Focus on the people coming out of the Kingdom Hall. The folks want to see it. Yep. Then we got Norman going back. They're going to go back and see what they can't do to get some better pictures of the witnesses leaving the convention center. Norman's back on his way.
Out.
All right. Well, we are on Slack and Beard Watch tonight. We are trying to see how many witnesses. That's the door. They're going to be coming out right there. So we'll be focused on that and see what happens tonight. It's really exciting. I mean, this is the first year of a dress code that's been relaxed. And right at the time of the memorial, was that done for reasons of getting more people to come? I'm not sure. But we'll keep our eyes with. There's Norman now. He's got the other camera. He's driving up to the convention center. You can see him to the right. So we're going to see the witnesses. That door right there is what we want to focus on. That's where they'll be coming out. And so far, we haven't seen many slacks. I did earlier. Julie did say that she did see a woman in sweatpants. But you said not many of the brothers were wearing beards of all things. They weren't doing that. So, we're just going to kind of focus on the doorway here and see. Well, there it is inside the lobby, I guess. That's inside the center itself. So I don't know if you can see how, but I see women in dresses mostly. I don't see any slacks. There's a woman in dress, the pink dress there. Yeah. But I did see one guy coming into the convention. I believe he was a Jehovah's Witness. He did have a beard and he had a T-shirt on. I mean, I don't know if I'd show up for the convention in a beard and T-shirt. He might not have been a witness, but the witnesses were coming by and they were looking. They were looking at our signs and they were slowing down. And friends, this has been happening. This has been happening in the last number of years that we've been protesting. It seems like the witnesses are a little more eager to slow down and read the signs. They never did that before. Never did that before. You look and put that on the bottom. That is the convention center. That is the auditorium. You can see the witnesses leaving now. There'll be another group coming in here shortly. Hopefully, we'll be able to see if things are about the same. But, they have to go right by us. They can't miss us in their cars. They're coming out of that convention center. Then they have to drive down this road. And this road is, about, I'd say, a quarter of a mile long. And at the end of the road, here we are, the apostates, so to speak. And so they can't miss us. And, boy, I'll tell you what, they're getting a mouthful tonight. They are getting to see a lot of things. And I as I said earlier, more and more of the Jehovah's Witnesses are actually slowing down. We had one woman tonight come by and give us a thumbs up. A lot of PMOs going in here tonight. So take a look there. What do you see? There it is. All right. We'll just kind of focus in here. Let me take a look and see what's happening. All right. So I guess these are probably one group is exiting, and then we get another group. They had two meetings here tonight. So one group is exiting. I can see them right now. We have the cars exiting and we have cars coming. So another group is coming in. So we'll see how that all comes to being here as the new group comes in. Maybe they'll be dressed a little more relaxed. Maybe they won't be, but this group seemed to be pretty well dressed up. However, Julie did say there was a lot of brothers not wearing ties, but I do see that most of the sisters, as you can watch, are actually wearing dresses. I thought I'd see more slacks tonight, but it's not the case. Well, I'm looking out the front here. When our camera people get back, we get them all on assignment now, but we're looking out at a full moon. And we talk about that, right? You can remember when you were a witness, they always went with the first full moon after the spring equinox. And we'll get into that a little bit later, too, when the second group is in their meeting. In fact, we're even going to partake. I'm a Christian man, and we'll kind of show you what was going on in there tonight and how the whole process takes place. We'll kind of go along with how they do it in the witness world. So let's check that out. We'll do that in a little while when Norman comes back, and we'll talk a little bit more about the new moon, the full moon. We'll talk about the spring equinox. We'll talk about all of that because a lot of people right now in the ex-witness world are saying the witnesses are holding this on the wrong date. Well, we'll give you the real color. We'll give you the real skinny on that. Well, here we go. We got some close-ups of some sisters there. And those sisters aren't in slacks. At least it's not what I see. It looks like they are. And well, let's see if we can't get the picture a little bit bigger here. And then I think you might be able to see it a little bit better. See if we can't get this picture a little bit bigger. All right, solo layout. All right, there we are. Okay. That's an older sister there, as you can see. But she's dressed up. She's dressed up. Of course, Julie's doing the filming. She doesn't want to be right in their face. So look at that sister there. She's got a COVID mask on. Well, the Watchtower was very cautious with COVID. Evidently, she hasn't come down off the COVID high yet. But there she is with a COVID mask. And that's funny to see that. But the Watchtower, many witnesses took it very, very seriously. All right. I don't know why we're focusing on her. Let's move around a little bit. Let's take a look at some other people. If we could slow that camera down, Julie, I don't know if you can hear me or not. But, well, this is a woman. I just saw some slacks. Right? Yeah, that's what we're on. We're on Slack and Beard Watch tonight. I don't know. Maybe you guys can see a little better than me. I got some blinding lights on me here. Maybe you're seeing a little more than I can actually see on my my little recorder here. Well, that looks like another woman over there wearing slacks. Well, now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of this. We are right in the lobby. That is, our camera people are right in the lobby of the convention center where the memorial is being held up here in Andover, Massachusetts at the Doubletree Hotel. There's the entranceway there. In fact, I have actually looked at this particular hotel. It's a Hilton. I looked at this hotel that maybe we would hold our ex-Jehovah's Witness convention here. But it's not going to be here. It's going to be about 6 miles from here at another Hilton in Tewksbury, Massachusetts. Well, there's the group right now. They're exiting the Kingdom Hall. Is that a beard on that man right there? I'm not sure. I can't quite see. Maybe you guys can see better than I can. But the Hilton's a nice place. I don't know how many congregations are meeting here tonight. I think there's at least 5 or 6 congregations. And they're all leaving now. Then there's a new group, evidently, that's going to be coming in here very, very shortly. But there they are in the lobby, getting ready to go out to the parking lot to their car. Aren't you glad that you're not one of Jehovah's Witnesses anymore? I mean, wasn't that something else? You had to dress up. You had to hustle off to the memorial. And it was just a boring occasion, right? And they would pass the wine and the bread. And, many wouldn't take it, but most wouldn't take it. But all of these people are missing out on real Christianity. They're missing the boat. Of course, the Jehovah's Witnesses really aren't Christian. They aren't Christian to begin with. But there they are. I mean, look at them all. They think they're Christians. They really, really do. But, if you pass the wine by and you pass the bread by, there's only one other organization I know that does that. That is the Satanist. Okay, we do have another camera. Nothing out yet coming. Well, I'll put that other camera up as soon as we see some activity on it. But we are getting good footage. There's a sister there in a nice dress. There's another sister there. It seems like some are really dressed up really, really good. And then it seems like some are just not caring. From what I can see, of course, my camera, my vantage point here isn't good. I can't see that well. Oh, there's a beard. We have seen a beard. So we are on beard and slack watch, as we say. This is the first year of the dress code being changed in the Jehovah's Witness organization. There they are. Now that's just there. She's dressed up really good. I mean, this used to be, like Easter for the Jehovah's Witnesses. They would really dress up with their finest clothes on and come to the memorial and show off their new dress, show off their new suit. But I don't know if it's going to be that way in the future. Of course, they just learned last week that sisters can wear slacks and brothers don't have to wear a tie. Brothers can just dress casually. They can have a beard. So only time will tell. It seems like some of the witnesses haven't really caught on yet. There's a number of sisters coming out the door right now. They all get dresses on. I haven't seen any, shaggy looking beards or anything. So I don't know what's going on in the rest of the country, but up here in New England, well, it's always been a pretty, conservative place, but we'll see. That's Julie, our camera girl. Well, we just lost Julie's contact. There we go. Let's hope that didn't happen. But it did happen. So, anyways, you got a good look. We'll switch over to our other cameraman. We're gonna switch over to Luke, and we'll see if he has anything. It seems like, let's see. Well, no, we both of the. Well, let's see. We're gonna get Luke back up here. Let's get okay. Let's add him up there. Julie's back with us. Let's get Julie back on with us. All right. All right. So that is out in front. You can see people exiting the convention center. Okay. Let's switch over to Luke now and see if Luke can't come on with us. All right, let's go with Luke. All right, Luke's cameraman number 2. He is also there at the doorway as people are coming out. Well, I hope that you guys are getting a front row seat here to a pretty large memorial service up here in the Boston, Massachusetts area. This is the DoubleTree Hotel, as we've been saying. It's in Andover, Massachusetts. And, well, the witnesses decided to not have the Kingdom Hall Memorial. Many Kingdom Halls in the area do not have a memorial tonight. They had it here at the convention center, the DoubleTree Hotel. So it seems to be the way they're doing it as of late. I got information coming into the Six Screens Network from different people saying that their conventions also are going to be, not convention, I keep saying convention, friend, I mean memorial, saying that their memorial would be held at a convention center at a hotel. So there you go. That's right. I just wish that the cameraman could just keep steady. Oh, there's a woman in slacks there. There's another woman in slacks, it looks like. Well, for some, okay. Let's see what happens. Let's switch over now to Julie. Let's bring Julie on as well. Let's get them both on here and see what's happening. Let's bring Julie on. Okay, okay, there it is again. Dress. Most have dresses. I can't really, my camera's so small here, my little video, that I can't really see about the beards, but maybe you guys have noticed beards. I haven't seen too many. All right. See if we can get up close here and see. Oh, there's another woman. There's a woman in sweatpants. I can't believe that. Sweatpants and a sweatshirt? I mean, when's the last time you went to Memorial and saw a woman in a sweatpants and a sweatshirt? So you're getting a bird's eye view here of the memorial service up here in New England. Slacks. There you go. Another, boy, I'll tell you, oh, it's something else. It looks so funny to see the Jehovah's Witness women in slacks. Boy, so you got a mixture here. You have a mixture of people. You have some with slacks, some dressed casually. There's another woman with slacks. And then you have some dressed to the hilt. Is this going to cause divisions? Is it possible that this could cause divisions? Some might say, why'd they come to the memorial dress looking like that in a sweatshirt and sweatpants? I wouldn't do that. So, I mean, this is going to cause gossip. This is going to cause divisions. This is really going to cause a lot of problems. Well, there we go. Let's take a look. Well, is that a brother with longer hair? Is that a brother with longer hair? I couldn't quite see that. I'm kind of really curious here to see what's going on with the witness world. This witness world is tipped upside down and backwards. But we do have the people leaving right now. They're coming by. I'm about a quarter of a mile away from that main exit door. I'm sitting outside here in the cold, and the cars are coming by. You saw the signs earlier. And as soon as our camera people get back, all the cars are leaving now. We got them all going. They're really getting a mouthful here tonight. At least an eyeful, I should say, of signs. They're seeing all these signs. Many of them are slowing down. We hope that it's making a difference. I really feel it is. Yeah. So stay here with us. We'll continue to bring you more broadcasting from this site as these witnesses leave. I believe another group will be coming in. But there's still many exiting. I don't know how many witnesses were there tonight. Julie was in there earlier. She said that there was a lot of empty seats. A lot of empty seats. So we've been out here now since 6:30, about 2 hours we've been out here. And it's getting cold. It's probably down around 30, I'd say about 32 degrees probably. It's freezing. I'm not frozen yet. If I stayed out here all night, I would be. But I've been at protests where it's been colder. I really, really have been. But tonight it's a big full moon up there. I'm looking out. You can't see it from your vantage point, but I can see it from where I am. And it's a very cool, brisk night up here in New England. All right. So maybe our camera crew is heading back. I'm not sure. But so anyways, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of video footage of Kingdom Halls around the nation, hopefully tonight, from ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that went and saw what was taking place. So I'm looking forward to that, looking on YouTube tomorrow and seeing all the footage that's been put up by the ex-witnesses who are going to conventions. I know I talked last night to some people on our Six Screens Network program, JW World News, and I talked to some people last night that said they were going to the memorial and they were going to take pictures, so it really would be wonderful. And while all you guys are listening, I want you to remember that we do have an ex-Jehovah's Witness convention. We're going to have our own convention. Now, not in 2024, but in 2025. And for all of those people out there that would love to meet the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses and talk about their trek in the Watchtower, well, in August, it looks like August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 2025. That's a year from August, so it's quite a way out yet. But we are going to have an ex-Jehovah's Witness convention. And it's going to be at the Hilton Hotel right outside of Boston. And we're going to have a great time. We already have 168 people, I believe it was. Some more people wrote me today. So we have about 168 people that want to come to the convention and meet ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. It will be the first convention of its kind for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's something to look forward to. If you would like to get a ticket, the tickets are free. We have room for about 500 people. If you don't get a ticket, you might have to listen from, the hotel room or listen from the lobby or poke your head in the window. So anyways, if you want to write me at jwworldnews@gmail.com, jwworldnews@gmail.com, I'll be able to send you some tickets. Now, I know a lot of people have already sent for tickets, and I haven't really sent any out yet because I don't have the date. So in the meantime, let me know you want tickets, and as soon as I get the tickets printed and I know the date, well, by all means, you'll be able to participate and come. But we have a lot of the witnesses. I can't believe it. I wish you could see the cars slowing down and reading the signs. My goodness, they're right in front of me. Of course, the camera's on me. But the cars are slowing down. They're reading the signs. They're probably taking notes. I really can't see because it's kind of dark. But this is a wonderful thing. A wonderful thing. Now, what you see those cars in the background, those lights, that's actually a highway. That's Route 93. that comes all the way down from the Canadian border down to Boston, Massachusetts.
So few people came.
Is that right?
Yeah, all the cars you've seen, that's it. That's like it. There's not many people left in there.
No. So, well, Luke. Well, let's. You want to talk now? We want to talk, Luke. Why don't you tell us what you saw, Luke? Let's talk to Luke here. He's our technician. Luke was up there. He had the cameras along with Norman. Norman. I mean, Luke. What did you see? Tell us what you saw.
I saw the lack of people. I grew up as Jehovah's Witness. I've been to many, many memorials, and I saw a real lack of people there tonight. Like the amount of cars I've seen come in and out is a small number of people compared to what I used to see as a child, 20 years ago. They actually more than that now, actually 25, 30 years ago as a child. Going to memorials, sometimes we had 200, 300 people there, and there was probably maybe in both congregations, maybe a total of 200 people, if that. It's really, there's just a lack of people. It just seems to be so few cars. It's sad.
I'm noticing that too, Luke. I was thinking this was going to be some gigantic event, but I'm not impressed. If this is, 3 or 4 congregations from the local area meeting, it's disappointing. I mean, there is not that many people. I don't know if any of you folks here with us with the Six Screens protest team, I don't know if any of you had a chance to, were all the seats filled? Did anyone see that? Julie, were all the seats filled when you got a chance to look in there?
No, I have pictures, and they were. There was very few seats mostly in the back they were full. The closer up to the front you got, the emptier it became.
Well, there it is. Julie says that it wasn't full, and near the back it was full. As you move closer to the front, no, it wasn't. So that's what we used to do too, right? You used to sit in the back. You don't want to sit up front. But I'll tell you what, this is. I'm going to go on the record to tell you this wasn't some blockbuster event. I mean, I'm not trying to embellish things here somewhat, but I was thinking there'd be way more people. So is there another one coming in now?
Nope, this is it.
This is it? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I really don't have enough people to cover the donations to cover what they spent the rest of this.
Yeah, probably.
All right, Julie.
But you
So-
know how much they're slowing down.
Very little people.
Yeah. There you go, yeah.
They're creeping by here.
Yeah.
Pictures.
Hey, Rick,
Yeah.
do you notice how when the cars go by, they slow way, way down?
Oh, I noticed that,
It's like
Norman.
they're reading. They're reading.
Norman, I saw at least a dozen cars that stopped. Actually, a number of them stopped, and they're reading these signs. I have to tell you, I know I talk about this for the last 3 or 4 years, but this is remarkable. This is remarkable. Usually they speed off. They want nothing to do with the apostates, but tonight they have been slowing down. Norman, why don't you sit down here with us? I guess there's not going to be another one tonight. I thought there was 2 here tonight, but I guess there is not going to be another memorial service. But what I was thinking, Norman, just a couple of notes I wanted to talk about, then we're going to partake.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, we're going to partake, and we're going to show people at home. Now, if you have your wine, it doesn't have to be wine. It can be anything. It can be grape juice. We've got grape juice tonight because we're on the road, obviously. But if you want to partake with us, it will give you a little commentary on what went on there tonight and how it was supposed to take place. By all means, do that. Norman Leroux, he's an opposer. He never was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but he is an opposer. And we have 2 of our people with us tonight, Luke and Julie, who work along here with the Six Screens. You've seen them before, and of course they were trying to be dragged into the organization, but they didn't buy it. Norman, do a little talking. I'm going to get the bread and the wine ready. The bread and the grape juice, I should say, and do a little talking.
Well, if you're still with us, we're glad you're still here with us. It's kind of cold outside right now. It's probably, the computer says it's 37 degrees, but we got a warm feeling inside because of what we just saw, that the Watchtower is clearing out. While Rick gets the bread and the grape juice, we're going to be partaking of the Lord's elements. It's a solemn time. It's a time of reflection, and this is a symbol. This doesn't mean anything. It's not transubstantiation or a consubstantiation. These are symbols. And we think back to the Old Testament when the people left, when the Jews left Egypt, God gave them a sign. And he said, I want you to do these things in remembrance of what I did for you from the land of Egypt. So they had to partake of the Passover every year because they were symbols. They didn't have TV. They didn't have newspapers or magazines or anything to remind them. But God gave them symbols to remind them of what he had done for them, to be passed down from generation to generation. And now it's for millennia. We still have the Passover. We still have the symbols. And when Jesus came, he gave us new symbols of his sacrifice for his people. He gave us bread that was to be broken, that symbolizing his body, that his body would be broken for us. He gave us the wine as a symbol that his blood would be poured out for us as a sacrifice for us, for his people, for the forgiveness of sins. It's a time when we reflect on what Jesus did, that he came to earth, that he taught, that he suffered and died for us. So we partake of these symbols in remembrance of what Jesus did, as a symbol of who Jesus is. He is the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. Well, it looks like Lucas time to take all the signs down. We don't have another congregation coming in tonight, so things are starting to wrap up out here. One thing I did notice is that the cars are going very, very slowly by our signs. We just had one person stop. But tonight is a symbolic time. We have Easter coming up next week, where a lot of Christians will celebrate the resurrection of Jesus, his triumph over sin and death for us, that those who believe in him will not perish but have everlasting life with him. Really? Yep.
And then they threw it all away in a black garbage bag afterwards.
Julie just said that only 2 people inside partake of the bread and the wine. Only 2. And she said the rest was just thrown into a garbage bag, a black garbage bag. How sad is that? The command that Jesus says to take this, and they don't, they can't, because the Watchtower prevents them from partaking in the death and resurrection of Jesus. How sad is that?
But then they said if you don't partake, you will not have everlasting life.
That's right. Yeah, they said if you don't partake, yeah. If you don't partake, then you will not have everlasting life. So it looks like they contradict themselves. Looks like a lot of witnesses will not see everlasting life according to the Watchtower. We know that they talk about a recreation where when the person dies, they are gone forever and God remembers them and recreates them. Now, I'm not going to live for a clone. So it's sad what these people are taught. It's sad that they don't realize that the Watchtower brainwashes people, contradicts themselves, and are a cult, a Christ-denying cult. So tonight, well, as we break down, we see the people driving by. We hope that they see and read the signs, and we hope that the Lord will work in their hearts to get them out of this cult, to get their families out of this cult, to deny what is satanic, and that is the teachings of the Watchtower. Rick has been doing a wonderful job over these years, tirelessly, to come out here and to witness to people. And Luke and Julie, have done a fantastic job tonight. I've worked with them before. They're just absolutely wonderful, wonderful people.
Our pleasure.
She said, our pleasure. We hope that those of you who are listening someday will do the work that we're doing, either by joining us if you're in the Boston area or the New England area if you'd like to join us. Again, when I first started, it was kind of scary, but now I enjoy it. And again, when it was scary, I came out, and within the first 5 minutes, I settled right down, and everything was wonderful. It's just a wonderful sight to see. So if you could join us here in New England, we would love to have you. We're a small crowd, but we're a great crowd. If you can do this in your own area, you've got nothing to lose. If you'd like a sign, I'm sure you can. If you contact Rick, I'm sure he can get you some signs. Rick's a sign guy. Been a sign guy for a long time. Rick can get you some signs if you're going to go outside of your Kingdom Hall and do this for their memorial. Or if you'd like to do it for the convention that comes in your area, I'm sure Rick can get you some signs for the convention. This is great work. This is work that Christians should be doing. To witness Christ in our lives and to witness to what he can do for us. That we should shun the cults, but not the people in the cults. You know, for me, the witness is what I call the witnesses are what I call kidnapped royalty. They've been kidnapped by the society, and they can come out. They can know the real Jesus. And we hope and pray that God touches them, touches their lives to believe in his son Jesus. Tonight's been a good night, well, at least for us. For the witnesses, I'm sure it's not so great. They try to hire a convention center so that the Kingdom Hall doesn't look as empty. Kind of backfired on them because the convention center is kind of empty. Julie was saying that there was a room for about 200 people in the English-speaking congregation, and she said half the seats were empty. Same thing with the Creole convention. Half the seats were empty. There's no enthusiasm. There's no drive. There's no passion. And we thank God for that, because your passion should be for Jesus, not for an organization.
Well, everyone, well, welcome back. I just want to get into talk a little bit tonight. We're going to be wrapping up here very, very shortly. But I want to talk a little bit tonight about the memorial, and of course, being held on this date. Let me see if I can't scroll this up. I got some information here that I want to bring to your attention on why it's being held on this date. Just to give you a little idea, Norman, why don't you just talk a little bit more while I find my notes here so I get them together? Okay, it's just a little confusing. Go ahead.
Oh, hold on for a second.
We're taking everything down here, folks. Our team is taking all the signs and things down. That's what you hear in the background. So just stay here with us.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the close-up view of the table.
Norman, why don't you just briefly, you've been to a number of protests.
Yeah.
To try to bring some highlights of some of the things that you've seen at the various protests.
Oh, we had the police called on us.
Come nice and close.
Yeah, we had the police called on us a few times, and Rick is a great planner, and he always goes to the police station to let them know what he's going to be doing. And so the police come by, they see that we're peaceful, so they just go their way. Sometimes the police are a little bit more hostile than others, but that's okay. There was one year we had flyers printed up so that as the witnesses were leaving the Kingdom Hall, they would have to go down the street, and there was a stop sign at the end of the street. Me and a gentleman named Bob, we had flyers. And so as they would come by, sometimes they would look at us, sometimes they would just look straight ahead. But those who did look at us, we offered them a flyer. Some people would take them. A lot of people didn't, but that's okay. That there was one person who took it, read it, crumbled it up, and threw it back at us. We had a good time with that. Let's say we had times that were very windy. We had to hold everything down and before everything toppled over. We would have brothers yelling over to us, especially at the very beginning. At the very beginning, they looked puzzled. They would like be staring at us, and we just stood there with our signs with a big smile on our face. Well, at least I did. Like I said, my daughter came with one of her friends, and that was a great time. They were only, I think they were preteens back then. We've altered the flow of traffic to the Kingdom Hall. The first year or two, they would go right in the front door, and they were mesmerized by us, by just looking at us and saying, "What are these people doing?" But then they caught on fairly quickly, and then they would park in the parking lot, and they would all go in the back door. They were prohibited from going in the front door. They all had to go in the back door, as to not even look at the apostates or opposers. I'm the opposer. So that they wouldn't read our signs. And the signs are powerful. Well, there's people slowing down. They're still coming out of the DoubleTree right now, and they are going by the signs, and they've been slowing down and reading them. They're curious. They really are. And I really think that a lot of witnesses have been secretly going on the internet and investigating what the society is all about. And I think it puzzles them. I think they get confused. And if they keep on going, they're going to get convicted. And that's the wonderful thing about the internet, is that they can look and they can see for themselves. And there's a lot of great sites out there. Rick's site is wonderful. There's a lot of great sites out there that will help people to come out of the Watchtower. And also, these sites are good because people who thought about getting into the Watchtower are prevented from coming out. So there's a lot of good work out there. Rick is doing a tremendous work. A lot of people, Jay Hess is doing some great work. People are doing some great things out there. So we appreciate all that they've done. And there are so many ex-witnesses who have been getting onto the 6 screens of the Watchtower, the Upper Room Ministries with Rick. And this has been a huge success over the years. Rick has done a fantastic job. But the protests are wonderful. Again, we've never been attacked. Not even close. It's been a great experience. And if you can come, like I said, if you're in the New England area, come and join us. If you want a plane ticket, if you can afford a plane ticket to come over and be with us, we'd love to have you. Or if you want to do it in your area, like I said, contact Rick. He's got plenty of signs, and he can help you out as much as he can. So don't be shy. There's nothing to lose.
All right, Norman. So we're gonna partake here tonight.
Yep.
You know the scriptures, yeah?
Oh yeah.
All right. So what we'll do is we're going to partake tonight to kind of round this all out. That's what the witnesses would do, but they would pass it by. But what we're doing here tonight is we're going to partake in the way it's supposed to be done. Now, you're supposed to drink it, but the witnesses wouldn't drink the blood, the wine, I should say, and they wouldn't eat the bread. But Norman, usually what takes place before one would take the wine or the bread. Now, if you're out there listening, why don't you guys get your wine if you have some? If not, grape juice is fine. We have grape juice tonight. We're on the road here, so we can't be drinking the wine, you know. Unfortunately. Yeah. But so anyways, if you don't have it, you can just have water. You can have water and even a piece of bread or whatever, a little cracker. You don't you don't have to really have the real McCoy, but it's the tradition of doing this, and it's the meaning of it is more important than the actual substance itself. Now the witnesses make a big deal about it. They have to have an unadulterated bread. They have to have unleavened bread, but just acknowledging the fact that you're partaking is all that's really needed. You don't need special bread. You don't need special wine. So Norman, what they would generally do before they pass the wine tonight in there, and from what Julie said, Julie, there was only 2 people that partook.
Correct.
There was only 2 people that partook tonight. So, if you're listening in here tonight and you're a Christian and you don't want to leave God behind, many of you have been spiritually abused. It's very difficult for you to even connect with any spirituality because it's been so abusive for you in the Watchtower. But when I left the Watchtower, I still wanted to believe in God. And I realized that the real hope is in heaven. So Norman, let's talk about what normally takes place. They read a scripture. What scripture you think would be fine for wine?
I didn't bring my Bible with me. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I'll tell you. I mean, when we talk about scriptures for partaking, Norman, now you've been a Christian. Tell us what happens in your church.
They usually have the emblems once a month. They do the scripture reading of the meaning of what the bread and the wine symbolizes, and then we all partake together.
I remember it was verse 19 and 20. I believe it was Luke where it says, Jesus was having the Last Supper, the last dinner, and he took the bread and he said, "This is my body, which will be given up for you. Eat this in remembrance of me."
That's right.
The sacrifice. And then again with the wine.
Now, there are many scriptures that we could use to partake. This is something Jesus commanded us to do, really. If you are followers of his, then you would want to partake of the wine tonight. So I hope you folks home want to do this. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 11:24. And when he had given thanks, he broke and said, "This is my body, which is for you, in remembrance of me." So that would be the bread. That represents Jesus' body, and that would be in remembrance of Jesus. So, Norman, why don't you say a prayer for the bread?
Thank you, Rick. The scripture says that Jesus had given thanks. Let us give thanks. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for giving us your Son, Jesus, as a sacrifice for our sins, because nothing else would do. All the blood of the bulls and goats could not wash away our sins. Only the blood of Jesus and his broken body could take away our sins. We thank you for sending us your Son, who died for us, who died for his people, and that we may partake and remember his broken body for us. We give you glory and praise. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, so let's take some bread. Now, what the witnesses do, they make a big deal out of the bread. They say the bread has to be unleavened bread. It has to be cooked with no other ingredients but pure bread. I mean, you guys know that. The witnesses made such a big deal out of it. So, Norman, I'm going to pass a piece of bread to you and to Julie and Luke and myself, and we can take that. All right. All right. Now, afterwards, after they took the bread, the wine was now available. And of course, that comes from 1 Corinthians 11 chapter as well. There's different scriptures you can use for this. The witnesses don't use these scriptures, but other Christians would use them as well. But in fact, the scripture is 1 Corinthians 11:25. In the same way, after the supper, he took a cup, saying, "This is the cup of the new covenant in my blood. Do this whenever you drink it in remembrance of me." So this brings you into the new covenant. This is a covenant that the Jehovah's Witnesses are not in. In fact, the Jehovah's Witnesses are not in any covenant. There is no covenant arrangement for the Jehovah's Witnesses. The anointed, when Jesus came and spoke about the real truth concerning the scriptures in the New Testament, and speaking about things that really was not spoken about in the Old Testament. The Old Testament readers, the Old Testament adherers had to come into the New Testament. So when you drink of this wine, you were brought into the new covenant. You were brought into the New Testament with Jesus. So I'm going to say a prayer concerning the wine. Father God, we thank you very much for the opportunity to be part of your arrangement. We look forward to the hope that you have for us in the future. We pray we can always move our life in a way that is pleasing to you. We appreciate this special occasion of taking this wine that represents Jesus' body. And we pray that we can always uphold the principles of truth as we move forward. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so now let's take our wine as it is. There you go. Thank you, Julie. And we can do that. Well, supposedly many out there, boy, that's strong. It's just not wine. It's grape juice. But boy, it's strong. Well, I hope you guys could partake with us, those that are Christians. And, there are two camps in the ex-witness world. And, I'm not trying to preach you tonight. I'm not trying to convert you at all. But that's what we do. This is the one camp, the Christian camp, that totally appreciates partaking of the emblems. And the witnesses tonight, they don't appreciate it. They do not appreciate partaking of the emblems. They just pass it by. Well, thank you, Norman, for being with us tonight. I wanted to make one other comment I want to talk a little bit about. All over the internet this week, all we heard is, no, the Jehovah's Witnesses are not celebrating the memorial on the day that they're supposed to be celebrating it. Well, normally, the memorial service of Jehovah's Witnesses is based on the Jewish calendar of Nisan 14. Now, we all know that as ex-witnesses, we all knew that Nisan 14 is the day that you would actually take of the emblems. And many of the witnesses, all of the witnesses, in fact, were encouraged to come to the memorial where they could be respectful observers. They wouldn't partake, but they would be respectful observers of the memorial. Now, Nisan 14 was always the first full moon after the spring equinox, which happens on Wednesday, the 20th of March, 2024. So that's why we're here tonight. According to the witnesses, this is Nisan 14. This is Nisan 14 according to the Jewish calendar. But many ex-Jehovah's Witnesses were saying, well, wait a minute, this is not the true date. But going back, I examined some information from the Watchtower Library. And according to an article, June 1977, a Watchtower article, the memorial should be held on the date of the Passover, which is the 14th day of the Jewish month of Nisan. So this, according to the witnesses, is the 14th day of the Jewish month of Nisan. Well, in the real world, it really isn't. In the real world, it really isn't the 14th day, because what happens in the real world is is not taking into account the old Jewish calendar. In the world we're living in now, they go with the new Jewish calendar. So the date of the memorial celebration is determined by the date of the old Jewish calendar. Now, I don't want to get you guys all confused here because it's very, very confusing. But what it basically is saying is that the old Jewish calendar is what the witnesses are going by. And according to that calendar, today is nice in the 14th. Now, what I want to also bring up here concerning this article in the Watchtower, it says appropriately, the date of the memorial celebration is arrived as at the Jews, by the Jews, back then, back in the first century, they determined the date of the Passover. So the Jehovah's Witnesses go by that, not by the new Jewish Passover. So I just wanted to mention that's why there's a lot of confusion. That's why there's so many people saying, well, the Jehovah's Witnesses aren't holding it on the right night. Well, if you go by the old Jewish calendar, they are. So I just want to bring that up tonight. I'm not going to get too deep into it. I'll post all the information up about it on YouTube description bar if you want to learn more about it. But I just don't want to convolute you with a lot of stuff tonight. But the Watchtower, they may have it right. In fact, they do have it right going by the old Jewish calendar. But if you go by the new Jewish calendar, it's not right. So, I don't know why Watchtower always has to be different. They've always done that. They've always tried to convolute it to be able to put things in a position that, the normal Christian world doesn't accept, but the witnesses do. What do you think of that, Norman?
Rick, you've done a lot of research on this. And yeah, the witnesses are different. They've always wanted to be different. I remember seeing old pictures when they had signs saying that religion is a snare and a racket, and then they change and they say that now they're the only true religion. So they've changed a lot of things over the years, and it doesn't surprise me that they've can change the date of nice and 14 or anything else, and the followers will just go right along with them. So.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, they just, people do not in any way want to disconnect from the Watchtower. But I'm telling you right now, there's many that are. We've seen it here tonight. You guys witness it as well. You've seen the dress code. You've seen the women wearing slacks. Things are changing in the Watchtower. You've seen some beards tonight. We even saw that woman in one of the videos that we saw here tonight. The woman actually wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. This is totally different from what we have witnessed in the Watchtower. Well, friends, I want to thank you all for coming in tonight. We've broken down the little operation we have here. We've taken down all the signs. We're looking forward to next Saturday night for JW World News, and we got Barbara Anderson coming on as well with her program. We want to thank you all for coming into the 6 Screens tonight and watching the special program. Norman, is there anything you want to say before we leave?
Yeah, I want to thank Luke and Julie for all the wonderful work that they've done. They are amazing, especially Julie, who went right in the belly of the beast to get some great footage. She's an amazing woman. Although she's turning a shade of blue right now because she looks very cold. It's your jacket. Okay. And Luke has been a trooper for many, many years and helping Rick out and being just a fantastic person. And I want to thank Rick for allowing me to join him to get to this protest. And I want to thank you all for joining in with us. We had a great time with you and all together, and we look forward to the convention.
Next year.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. We'll do it again next year if all goes well. But anyways, we're so happy. We feel so good that we've exposed the Watchtower tonight to many people. Now, I know it's just a little group here in Massachusetts, but I'll tell you what, this YouTube video can make a big difference. Many people will be listening in from all over the world, and they can see what's going on behind the curtains of the Watchtower. Well, I want you all to stand tall. I don't want you to ever give up or give in or give out. Keep waving that flag of victory. And the last one, leaving the Watchtower, please turn off the new light. Thank you very much, Norman. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next Saturday night on the 6 Screens of the Watchtower.